So you know what bus stops remind me of? They remind me of people who need motorcycles in their life, because motorcycles are fun and they get you places, and who doesn't like having fun or going places? So there's two obvious reasons why people don't ride motorcycles, and that is because they're expensive and they're dangerous. But that's besides the point. We're not here to sit and talk about that. We're here to go to the Whitney universe together and find out the real reason why your significant other or your friend or whoever doesn't ride motorcycles. So to gather some intel, I went ahead and put a poll up on the Yammie Noob Discord, which you should absolutely be a member of if you have not already joined, because who doesn't like talking about motorcycles 24/7? And I got hundreds of responses, and I was actually quite surprised. I thought, you know, I gave you 4 options. Your person is scared, they're completely and utterly disinterested, they want to but they don't know where to start, or they think it's a guy thing. I for sure thought the majority of people were gonna be like, I'm just not interested. Just totally not interested, which kind of blows my mind why you wouldn't like to have fun. That's weird. But actually 40% of the hundreds of answers I received were because they were too scared. And I get it, there's not a lot of positive motorcycle stories out there that in the news, you kind of only really hear about the bad stuff, right? It's very rare you hear about the people that I grew up talking to, which were dudes that had 500,000 miles underneath their belt and have had 1 or 2 accidents. But you don't hear from the thoughtful, cautious, mindful crowd of folks. You only hear about the Chads and flip-flops on Jixus 1000s doing squid stuff on the highways after drinking beers all day. That's really the only thing you hear about. So I get it. You think about motorcycles and you're like, oh, it's a death sentence. Strange, but there are tons of people out there who are even, I remember I just saw an article for a woman who was like 90, who's been riding motorcycles her whole life, and guess what? She's still kicking it. But believe me, women are physiologically more inclined to be cautious. You want to know why? Because they possess the instruments to grow brains and spines. They essentially have soul portals, right? And the species that carries the soul portal has to be more cautious. It's the divine dichotomy. If we were as reckless as men, there would be less humans, which could be a good thing or a bad thing. It kind of depends on how you look at it. Look at this guy. He's baking like a cookie in the sun. Do you guys think I'd get fired if I vlogged at the gas pump? Yammie's like, look, you gotta be moving. You can't sit and journal at a gas station. Does anybody want anything from Burger King while I'm here? See, why would you not want to ride a motorcycle when you can just ride on the shoulder when it's 169 degrees out? Okay, so the second most common answer on the poll was completely disinterested, which I thought was going to be number 1, right? I don't know. I don't like having fun and I don't like going places. That's what I hear when I hear I'm completely disinterested in motorcycles. But I get it. People, it's a niche thing right now, but it's gonna explode. I can feel it in the cockles of my heart. Get this, there are so many subcultures to motorcycle riding. It's not just cruiser boys with butt dusters or chads with fully faired sport bikes wearing flip-flops, because I grew up in Minnesota and that's all that I saw. You either had to wear nipple tassels that were 5 feet long, or you had to be into sport bikes and wear backwards monster caps with really ugly sunglasses, and nothing turned me off more than that. So I never liked motorcycles until I saw my first cafe racer. Then my head exploded into 1,000 pieces and I had to have it surgically put back together. I'm not kidding. I thought cruisers and sport bikes were ugly and I had no interest in them, but now you've got ADV people who want to go on adventures, you've got dirt bikes, you've got motocross, You've got really badass ladies who like big giant vintage gold wings. You've got all sorts of really cool stuff, so don't tell me you're not interested. Oh my gosh, a little friend. Hi, little friend. Oh, he's not looking. So don't tell me that. There's a motorcycle subculture out there for you. I guarantee it. Maybe if you're like a really girly girl, I'll guarantee you that there's women out there who like to ride or commute on a motorcycle and do makeup tutorials. That's really stereotypical. I didn't mean to say that, but you know, you get the gist, all right? Their most common answer was they want to, but they don't know where to start. And motorcycling obviously is daunting. Do you start by looking at motorcycles? Do you start by doing the MSF course? I don't know much about engines. There's no sacred tome that tells you this is what you need to do. There should be. Maybe I'll write it, maybe I won't, but I totally understand. That's a big hurdle to jump over, where to start. And if you're like me, I grew up with nobody, knowing no one who knew anything about motorcycles. So it was extra hard to get into it, and that was at a time where you didn't have Google in your butt pocket, so you really had to be passionate about it. Yo, what's up? Thanks, man. Get it. Okay, I'll go get it. Where is it? I don't know. I'll go find it. Welcome to Texas, world's biggest oven. The fourth option was, it's a guy thing. Yeah, it is a guy thing. They have physiological aspects that we lack that make them more confident riders, make them want to do more stupid, which if you ride a motorcycle, chances are you've done. Look at that cool, that's where the rodeo is. But that's gonna change as there becomes more content for women and motorcycling on the internet. That's gonna grow as women see more other women on motorcycles. That's gonna grow. So this particular option you're kind of excluded for if you're a man, but still, regardless, I recently was on the highway and there was a minivan full of little girls. One of them noticed that I was a girl and they all started freaking out in the van and waving, and they had their mom honk the horn so they could wave at me. And I was like, I hope that sticks with them somehow. They don't all have to become riders, but it's the Whitney universe, so they're all going to become track day riders, and they're all going to go on to race in Moto America. Okay, this was actually a pretty common answer, meaning that I got it more than a few times, and I was really stunned by it because it applies to me, and I've never, ever, ever thought this. But there were a few people who were like, you know, if my wife rides a motorcycle, just like me, who's gonna take care of the kids when we die? And who's gonna take care of the kids when we die? And I was like, what? I will. I'll take care of your kids when you die. Because in the end, 10 out of 10 people die. I don't know where this notion of riding a motorcycle is a death sentence, but it's kind of a bummer. There are hundreds and countless people who ride for their whole lives and are still alive, and they like to ride and have fun. So please, if you're really worried about that, don't be. It's kind of hard to, that just seems so extreme. That's not the right way to think about it. Dude, I bet you it's gotta be so freaking weird for like international people to see this footage. They're like, so did people just do whatever they want in America? And it's like, yeah, that's kind of like implied. Another answer I got multiples of is they're not confident. They failed their MSF course. They're not confident in their riding. They're overwhelmed by gears, having to change gears and that sort of stuff. Listen to me. I failed my first MSF course and now I work at Yammie Noob. Now I didn't fail it because I dropped the bike or anything. I was having heat exhaustion, so I blew through my figure 8 to go vomit in the parking lot, and then they just failed me and I asked if I could take it again and they said no. But then the second time was kind of the same thing. Like, I barely passed, and I didn't know why, because I thought it was easy and it was fun. But that just goes to show you that take the MSF course your points you get with a grain of salt. You're brand new to riding, just pass. If you're like me and you have to take it more than once, that's okay. We don't foster growth in American culture, and I think that that is really unfortunate. There's not a lot of people who are just really good at motorcycle riding off the bat, and they know everything and they know how it is. You gotta start somewhere, and you're probably gonna be bad at it. Everybody starts being bad at it. Everybody, you know, drops their bike a bunch of times. You just gotta get back up and just get on it. It can be extremely discouraging. It can be a lot of things, but please, you gotta start somewhere. No, I wasn't just naturally good at it. Ooh, spinners. Dude, I have not seen spinners in forever. Every motorcyclist you see on my footage is nuts right now because it is so hot. But you know what? We put out a video every day, man, and we do it for the job. And then finally, another really common answer was they prefer to ride passenger. They get to ride with me, they get to ride on one bike, they just prefer sitting on the back. No, 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 no. Get off the back. Listen to Mama Whitney right now. You won't like motorcycles, right? You're already on one. You like riding on one. And I get it, there's hurdles. You've got finances, a lot of anxiety to deal with. Riding motorcycles helped my anxiety so much because learning how to ride a motorcycle really hones in a lot of skills, and it sharpens them that will seriously bleed into other facets of your life, okay? It increases your awareness, it increases your perception, it increases your focus. Those are really good skills to just have. That's why I think everybody should just learn how to ride a motorcycle, because those are important. You should work on all those things all of the time. And I guarantee you, when you first start, those are gonna suck at first, but every time you ride, it's gonna get better. Every time you go on a trip, it's gonna get better. So get off the back of a motorcycle. I swear I'll start a scholarship fund to help women buy their first bike or take their MSF course and save up for it. Sure, it's expensive, but it's not as expensive as a car, but I get it. You know, you might live in the Midwest or somewhere where it snows and you're like, Whitney, I can't ride you around like you do in Texas. I know. Don't give me that excuse. It's hard to really compare it to anything else. Sorry, I'm in traffic. This is not interesting, but I can slow down and think about what I want to say. You know, I like riding a ferry across a channel, but I don't want to drive the ferry. It's like, no, this is a fun machine. They're made to have fun with. It's different, and it's not as hard as you think it is, okay? I swear, at first, the learning curve might be steep. You know, they say learning a new skill helps build neural pathways, and what better way to build neural pathways than by enjoying riding a motorcycle? You'll probably prevent Alzheimer's to some degree, so don't be discouraged. Build new neural pathways by having fun and going places. I swear it's a spiritual experience. It is for a lot of different people. So no more excuses. Tap in. I'll help you tap into whatever cool subculture will give your soul a boner about motorcycle riding. So thanks for tuning in, you guys. I'm gonna endo straight into a ravine full of ice cold water. Getting gas for your vlog because you're out and you already started the videos. Oh shit.
So real bummer, this video is actually over, but you're in luck. There are hundreds of other Yammie Noob videos you can go and check out. Hit this one right over here. Watch it. Do it for Yammie-chan.